Okay, so in this video, you read the title, no one is going to be spared. We're knocking on every single NFL team's door like the Grim Reaper and roasting every single team's best player. So let's start right away. Let's make this short and sweet. Kyler Murray will never win anything. Unless you're an all-time talent like Drew Brees, quarterbacks this short have just never been successful in the league and they never will be. And it also doesn't help that your main ability is running the ball and you're also absurdly injury prone. I think it's pretty clear that the f***ing Ewok should have chosen baseball. Literally in the one important game of his life, he did nothing but poop the bed and throw the game in favor of the Rams. Best case scenario for Kyler Murray is he demands a trade in the next 2 years and does something somewhere else. But as it stands right now, he is stuck eternally in the Arizona purgatory. Lamar Jackson is suffering from a severe case of Aaron Rodgers-itis. And in the case for Ravens fans, it's never a good thing when they have a mild heart attack every time they get an Adam Schefter notification. Lamar Jackson had the city of Baltimore in his hands, and he did nothing but fumble it. And the one goddamn year that you actually had a good team around you, you were unstoppable all regular season long, you did nothing but shit your pants and have it run down your leg into your cleats in a playoff game against the Titans. Time and time again, defensive coordinators just go up to their DBs and be like, hey boys, Lamar can't throw the ball. Let's send every single blitzer we have at him every play. And you know what? Lamar will probably finish his career never winning anything, meaning that he will forever just live in Michael Vick's shadow as a quarterback that didn't really do anything super innovative at all. Josh Allen, how much longer do you want people to feel bad for you? Year after year after year. Oh, what a heartbreaking playoff loss. But don't worry, guys. Josh Allen and the Bills are gonna be back next year, stronger than ever and ready to take down the Chiefs. Look, Josh Allen's having a great year. The Bills are gonna win the Super Bowl. They're gonna be the best team in the league this year. Trust me, this is the year. I could roast Josh Allen for hours about how garbage he was as a rookie and hell, even a sophomore, but this 2022 season was the most insulting to Bills fans and just NFL fans in general. You had the best opportunity to already cement a part of your legacy in the playoffs and you just blew it. After almost getting pegged by the Dolphins in the wild card round, the Bengals came into your backyard, insulted and trash talked you, and won the game, and it wasn't even close. And I'm not even trying to be mean here. I genuinely feel as if Josh Allen and the Bills are in serious trouble for the future. And unless the man steps up his game, nothing is going to change for you. So, DJ Moore's gone. You want me to roast Derek Brown or JC Horn? There's gonna be no happiness anytime soon, Panthers fans. Just enjoy whatever remains of Cam Newton's sloppy seconds for the next couple seasons. Justin Fields is not good. There is a very high chance that the Bears just made one of the biggest mistakes in NFL history, choosing to keep Justin Fields over a potential #1 draft pick in this year's draft. Because if you could turn back the clock just like, you know, to the beginning of last season, Justin Fields was an absolute draft bust and looked like he shouldn't be anywhere near a green turf field. Every time Justin Fields took the field, he looked like someone had just murdered his dog. He played with no passion and didn't know anything that was happening at all. But then, hey, all of a sudden, he starts playing good later in the season, and everyone hails him as the savior of Chicago, and they finished as the worst team in the NFL. Do his weapons suck? Yes. But at the same time, what are we supposed to do with such a small sample size, Chicago? Do you genuinely believe that this guy is going to be the next future, well, not next, they've never had a good quarterback, but a good quarterback for the Bears? Cause I just don't see it. But hey, I guess put all your faith in this man. It's all you have. Joe Burrow is one of the most overrated players in the NFL right now, and he's benefited from being perhaps the luckiest player of the last 10 years. Now that you're done screaming at me and disliking the video, just stay with me for just a second. Let's say that you switched Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow, right? Let's say you gave Joe Burrow Joe Lombardi as an offensive coordinator, then what? And maybe you gave Justin Herbert some tools like, I don't know, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Joe Mixon. Do you really think that the Bengals team would be worse than they were this year? And also, Joe Burrow just barely missed the time period where the Bengals organization was nothing but an unholy bundle of chaos and mutiny. And remember that he had possibly the luckiest Super Bowl run you could ever have and almost won a Super Bowl off of a phony call. So keep chiefing on that cigar, Joe, because things are not going to get easier from here. Deshaun Watson, you know, he actually seems like a pretty nice guy. I don't know, I don't have anything bad to say. Continue being a good Samaritan, Deshaun. Keep it up.
Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott is done. The Cowboys are done. Their championship window that has been open for what feels like the last 96 years is closed and slammed shut. Also, not only have you been the NFL's easy punching bag for the last 20 years, but you've been the 49ers' personal cum dumpster over the last 2, and who's to blame for all of this? Well, one goddamn soul. Like I just said with Josh Allen, I could go back and start screaming at Dak Prescott for all the horrible plays he's made in the past. But just in this last game against the Niners, oh my god. The man had like 9 opportunities to save his entire career's legacy, and the man just blew it. One possession game, he's jogging onto the field. The Cowboys need a score, and he can't do it. And he can't do it again, and he can't do it again. Zeke's come and gone, Tony Pollard's hurt, your defense is falling apart. Last year was by far the best chance Dak Prescott is ever gonna have at a Super Bowl, or hell, at this point, just getting out of the first round. It's not even worth my energy anymore. Dak Prescott has been nothing but an underwhelming failure as his time in the NFL has gone on. Stop it. Just anyone who's saying that Russell Wilson is going to be fixed by Sean Payton, just stop it, please. I was so wrong about him last year. I thought that he was going to flourish in this new Broncos offense. But the man just can't do it. For whatever reason, he's too old, he's too hurt. He's just a different player, and we'll never see that Hall of Fame version of Russell Wilson on Seattle ever again. No coach can possibly fix the immeasurable shit show that was last year's Denver Broncos, or the senile walking man that was replacing Russell Wilson all year long last year. This Skinwalker's talents are just cooked. I guess just keep making TikToks and holding the Broncos prison for the next 4 years. Not gonna focus on one player, Lions, but all I'm gonna say is don't fall for the trap. The football gods got you right where they want you. As a Lions fan, you know how the cycle goes, right? The second that you lose your grip, the second that you actually believe that things are going to get better as a fan, that's when the castle comes crumbling down. So stop lying to yourself. Things won't get better. They can't get better. It is the way of life. The Lions must know misery and only pain. No happiness, just pain. So yeah, enjoy the next season.
I'm telling you now, I have plans that I cannot share with you right now.
Good God almighty, I could stare at this picture for days on. I forgot I was recording. Oh, that's weird. Anyway, Aaron Rodgers really needs to stop following in Brett Favre's footsteps. I mean, one more spiritual trip to a hobbit hole and he's gonna come back sending penis pictures to the goddamn cheerleaders. So while he's holding 2 teams hostage at the exact same time, you got all these Packers fans saying, "Oh, thank you, Aaron Rodgers. It was such a great time. I loved every game you ever played for us, and I want to have..." But let's cut the bullshit here. We know that Aaron Rodgers' time as a Packer was very disappointing. After he won his Super Bowl, oh, Aaron Rodgers is on top of the whole goddamn world. No one is going to stop this man from winning Super Bowl after Super Bowl after Super Bowl. He never even made it back. Loss. It just kept on going. The man was a losing machine, just printing L's for the rest of his career. So just like that, the Packers have had the privilege of watching the most talented player in NFL history just waste his career potential just like that.
It is coin! Oh my word.
Laramie Tunsil and his bubonic plague mask are not a good lineman. I don't know. Derek Stingley sucks. You know, I could go at Shaq Leonard or something for only playing one game in the entire season of 2022, but I think he was right. Why on God's green earth would any living, breathing human being decide to willingly take the field and put on a Colts jersey? I'm nothing short of sick and tired about talking about the Colts. They've done nothing but just make mistake after Andrew Luck left and still haven't repented for their sins. They've stuck about 9 band-aids on since Andrew Luck left, and the ship is still sinking. So I am praying that they decide to go for another older veteran quarterback instead of a young guy this year. So Shaq Leonard, I guess, I keep sitting on that bench. You're not missing anything on the field. I mean, what, do you want me to roast Chris Lindstorm? Nobody cares.
God damn.
Trevor Lawrence is another player who's pretty much just one of the luckiest guys in the entire league. Like, imagine if Urban Meyer didn't just go completely ape wild and he was still on the team, hampering his entire skill set to this day. And even in this last season, he was okay as a game manager throughout most of the regular season, and then in the playoffs, if he didn't also benefit from the Chargers just charging to the highest degree, then where would he even be right now? And it's only going to get better for him in the future, as this is possibly the worst division in NFL history, and looking forward, it's only going to get weaker. So congratulations, Trevor Lawrence, you're a generational talent. Just keep pushing out those modeling commercials and the people will be happy. Man, that one kind of hurt my soul. I'm sorry, Jaguars fans. Stop it. We need to stop the Mahomes meat riding. Yeah, he can throw a pretty good football here or there, but what if, just for a small moment, what if Damian Williams didn't just go Super Saiyan in the Super Bowl? And you know, just for funsies, what if the worst holding call in Super Bowl history wasn't called here? Oh, you know, maybe he's got another less ring. And you know, you do the math, you take away 2 Super Bowls from his current 2 Super Bowl champions, and what do you get? Oh, he's got 0 Super Bowls left. And now what we have is a glorified modern day Dan Marino with a far more talented team at his disposal. The man has had nothing short of the greatest offensive mind of the last 20 years as his head coach, one of the best, if not the best, tight end of all time, and a Hall of Fame wide receiver for his entire career outside of just last year. So maybe let's wait and see until this Supermax really starts kicking in and the Chiefs have to make real decisions on who they are going to keep on the roster. Because as of right now, as far as I can see it, maybe Mahomes has gotten a little bit too much credit. I could choose either Josh Jacobs or Davante Adams here, but the Crime Brothers are going to go together here because the Raiders had arguably the best running back in the league this year and arguably the best wide receiver in the league this year. And they were just putrid and unwatchable all year long. Literally, Jacobs and Adams carried the Raiders to every single win that they had this year while McDaniels was huffing paint thinner through his clipboard. It also doesn't help that Jacobs is now franchise tagged and isn't going to give as much effort as he did last year playing for his contract. And Davante Adams, the guy who was pushing everything he had to get Aaron Rodgers, is now stuck with Jimmy Garoppolo. It's gonna be a great season, Raiders. Next year is going to be different. Man, there is nothing like a full lateral movement with no improvements whatsoever. Since your existence, you have done nothing but lose, choke, and fail with the most talented roster in the league. It's not like the Panthers where this is just a small relapse of failure. No. This is all you will ever know and all you have ever known. There is no light at the end of this tunnel. You are running in an endless loop of failure and darkness. And you know what you've done? You've trapped Justin Herbert there. This is a man who has potential to be one of the best players of all time, and you're gonna burn his career to the ground. In conclusion, Dean Spanos is not a good guy. Yeah, you know, kind of surprising here. Tyreek Hill actually seems like a pretty good and trustworthy guy. Seems like a good dad, too. I don't know, I just get those vibes from him. I say right foot creep. Okay, can we please just, stop jacking Justin Jefferson off for just, a fucking minute? Please? He just had an amazing season, right? An all-time great one, of course, but hell, I could have done that if you gave me the damn ball on every single play. He's an incredible talent, but haven't we seen this exact situation once before? Running an offense through a single wide receiver, heavy over-reliance results in significant injuries. The same exact thing happened with Odell Beckham just a few years prior, and I really fear that Justin Jefferson's potential Hall of Fame career could just go off the rails with one wrong landing. And hell, if you don't remember OBJ, it just happened last year again with Cooper Kupp. You cannot run a one-man wide receiver offense without significant drawbacks. And I don't even need to get into the Vikings' despair because you probably already know that. Justin Jefferson is probably never going to be as good as any one of you wants him to be. Look, their best player isn't Mac Jones, so I don't really know what to tell you. This is a team that all Patriots fans just clearly know isn't good enough, but since you have Bill Belichick's decaying corpse still on the staff, I guess you kind of just have to compete. But at the same time, all you're doing is running in a hamster wheel where you are getting nowhere. And best case scenario, you're just gonna get ass blasted again by the Bills in the first round. The best possible news that Patriots fans can possibly get from now on is that Bill Belichick is going to retire. Because as long as he's still there, you are stuck in place. And not only that, but your team just might be one of the most boring I've ever seen in my life. Like, God, who can watch this shit? So as long as the Saint of Subway is there, your team is going to be irrelevant. And remember, before that guy showed up, your team was irrelevant before. So the future just might be darker than anyone could possibly imagine. You know what? Everything I said with Aaron Rodgers basically applies to you. You're being held at gunpoint and you have no leverage in the situation whatsoever. Also, Sauce Gardner's overrated as hell. I'll take Tariq Woolen over him any day of the week. I could talk about Cam Jordan or Alvin Kamara and his shenanigans, but Derek Carr, the quarterback that you just signed and gave a lucrative amount of money to, is going to change nothing. But you didn't even need to hear me say that, because you knew that was going to happen. When you saw that the Saints signed Derek Carr, you thought nothing of it, right? That's the sad part, is that you knew that this was all for nothing. And you know, maybe there's like a gas leak in the New Orleans facility or something, because I smell the same thing going on with the Colts. Since Drew Brees has been gone, this signing is going to be one of just a few band-aids being put on the wound that was Drew Brees retiring. I fear that there might be a decade-long stretch where the Saints don't even have anything close to a franchise quarterback. And trust me, as a Raiders fan, Derek Carr is as far from that as can be. So I don't know, I guess enjoy Captain Checkdown for the next 4 years and, I don't know, the occasional battery charge.
Yes! Yeah!
Well, Saquon's approaching that year, that 6th year of a running back's career where they really start to break down. And as a guy who was heralded as perhaps the best running back prospect of all time in 5 years of play, he has made just 2 Pro Bowls and not a single All-Pro selection. For the 2nd overall pick, he hasn't made a single All-Pro selection. So there was never a year where Saquon Barkley was the best running back in the league. So does that sound like a bust to you? Because to me, that is a textbook definition of a disappointment. And you know what? After this franchise tag expires with the Giants, Saquon's probably just going to get kicked to the curb and be another journeyman running back who you're barely going to remember in about 10 years. And it also doesn't help that Saquon Barkley is possibly the most injury-prone player in all of football. So, do you really think there's still more in the tank with this guy? Because I think he's fresh out of gas. The future's looking great, Jalen Hurts. Everything is set out for you page for page, except one small problem: durability. Do you honestly think a quarterback this big, this strong, this massive for their position can just constantly take punishment after punishment on just about every single play and play for a decade plus? No, it's just not realistic at all. So this hypothetical Super Bowl window for you, Philadelphia, is just gonna constantly get smaller and smaller by the year. But I don't know, maybe you won't play against a quarterback with a broken leg in the Super Bowl and a broken arm in the NFC Championship. This year was your best possible chance, and you blew it. You just completely blew it. Everything was going perfect in the first half. and guess what happened in the second? You completely buckled and folded under pressure in the second half and let the Chiefs come back and take the win off of a penalty. So I'm just gonna blow out your birthday candles for you. You're never gonna make it back to a Super Bowl. This was your best shot, and your core's just getting older. So I guess hopefully you enjoyed the season while you had it. Kenny Pickett is just trash. I'm not talking about Cameron Hayward, no. Kenny Pickett is actually just bad at football. And you know what might be even scarier? What if Kenny Pickett isn't the problem, and it's the coaching staff that is holding him back? Because one or the other, both sides just aren't meshing at all. So you're just locked into a problem for the next 5 years at least. Kenny Pickett has a very, very clear limit to his potential, and how much better is he really gonna get? Like seriously, realistically, for you delusional Steelers fans out there, do you honestly see Kenny Pickett being ever a Pro Bowl quarterback in the AFC? And I mean, just look at your division. You got Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow in there, and you're just sitting there with Kenny Pickett. It's over, Steelers. Just let your culture die. Don't try to perform like a reincarnation act. It's over. Just give up and move on to a new sad, sad era. Look, for my money, there is no team throughout NFL history that has gotten more chances in like the last 15 years of a Super Bowl and blown all of them. And I could focus on Nick Bosa or Fred Warner or Debo or whatever, but instead I'm gonna go towards Trey Lance. Trey Lance, because what in the hell do you do with him? Look, let's just address the room in the elephant here. Trey Lance is bad at football. Like really, really bad. And it's already been said that Brock Purdy has done enough to earn the starting job, and well, yeah, obviously. So what do you do with the guy that you gave countless draft picks to trade up and get? You are now just stuck with this deadweight loser on the roster. So the man's trade value is just going to slowly decrease more and more over the years, and in maybe just 1 year, you might just end up cutting your first round draft pick. Not that you haven't done that numerous times, but yeah, it'll probably happen again.
Hey, yo, what the f?
DK Metcalf is one of the most underrated divas in the entire NFL. This man just picks and chooses on which days he's just gonna try and play football. One game he'll look like a steroided up to the muscles, modded Calvin Johnson, and the next he'll look like he's too scared to even throw a block. And 2 years ago, you forget that this man was supposed to be unanimously the best wide receiver in the league. And where are we now? Well, the man is almost entirely known for a defensive play. Derrick Henry can only do everything by himself for so long. And he's been doing this for like 3 or 4 years now at this point. But this year, it just got comical. Robert Woods was by far and away your best wide receiver. Robert Woods. This was also a bad year for Tannehill, so Derrick Henry actually just walked onto the field with like his Crusader helmet on and had to do everything he could to even get them near the red zone. I mean, Titans fans, if you could survive watching that offense last year, then my God, you could watch a live execution and feel no emotion whatsoever. And of course, with so many other teams this list has had, it's only going to get worse. Malik Willis is probably going to be an absolute bust, and Derrick Henry is only getting older and older with age. Just one awkward hit on your prized possession of a running back, and your season is over. You took a gamble that a great running back was going to be able to win you a Super Bowl, and the farthest you got was a very fluky AFC Championship run, and haven't even come remotely close to coming back there. So you know it, I know it. The Titans and Derrick Henry are done. So you might as well just blow up the era and start from scratch.
Help me! Help me!
Dan Snyder's still your owner. Anyways, if you like this video, then subscribe. I tried a new format, so I guess tell me in the comments if you liked it. Also, watch this video right here where I went over the worst coaches in NFL history. It's pretty good, trust me. Anyways, until next time.